Okay, so there was a lot of drama last week about Brendan Schaub going on his podcast talking about Shane Carwin, who was apparently suffering from CTE and not doing too well. And Brendan broke down in tears, which caused Nate Diaz to call him a big old pussy. And a lot of people took Brendan Schaub's side, including me, because I thought, it was a bit of a low blow from Nate Diaz and really just unnecessary. I also did like Schaub's clapback at Diaz, basically saying I would fucking wreck you, which he 100% would.
What are you gonna do, Nate? What are you gonna do? Volume punch me, motherfucker?
But since then, I found a video that came across my feed from ITP MMA Live, which you guys are probably familiar with. And fuck, man. Just when I thought Brendan Schaub had redeemed himself and was finally sticking up for himself and doing the right thing and not bullshitting and making up lies and all the shit we're used to him doing, this guy makes a video and pretty much breaks down the fact that Brendan Schaub is just making all this shit up. He's not even friends with Shane Carwin anymore. He hasn't been friends with Shane Carwin for a long time, and he was doing all of this for intention. So here's a post that Shane Carwin put out 8 years ago. Remember, this is Brendan Schaub's brother and one of his closest friends to this day. And this is in relation to Brendan talking about Shane Carwin making a comeback to MMA after a couple of years off. And I think Brendan made a joke that he wouldn't pass a USADA test. Shane Carwin writes, "It seems like an odd thing to say, especially coming from him. He should really stay in his lane on this one. He knows I pushed the UFC and USADA together. He knows my track record, and I know his. I'm not sure this is what he wants to talk about." So in other words, he's saying that Schaub was the one using PEDs, or maybe they were both using PEDs. He then says at the end, "I do not see the first part as complimentary. It is also typical Brendan, or do I need to call him Big Brown? He insults the person and covers it with bullshit praise, and you are left wondering what he really believes. When the podcast's over and his fake friends are gone, he won't have a friend here. If he has evidence of me having trouble passing a test, he should man up and just say it. We can certainly have that discussion if he wants." So that was 8 years ago. Shane Carwin talking about Brendan Schaub, who are supposedly meant to be great friends to this day. And look, I get it. That was years ago. Perhaps they've mended the fence. But here's the thing. Shane Carwin actually made another post, and I'll play some of this video from ITP MMA Live. This pretty much proves that the friendship is actually total bullshit.
He and Schaub haven't been friends for years, and he makes it a point to say that even in 2016, he noticed Brendan exaggerating their friendship. Then Shane hammers this point home when in the last sentence of his second paragraph, he asks why Brendan insists on pretending their relationship is something that it wasn't. Like, do you guys see what I'm saying yet? Schaub has been lying about his friendship with Carwin for damn near a decade, and even Shane thinks it's weird. And then he says that when he went through his divorce, Brendan didn't bother to call or reach out to check in on him, and this really seems to have stuck with Carwin, seeing as he publicly reveals it here. And yeah, the very last paragraph is just him iterating for a third time that Brendan is not his friend, just to completely quell any doubts for those who might be convinced by Schaub's bizarre storytelling.
Wow, so Brendan Schaub has been lying about their friendship for years, and Shane Carwin's even been disputing it for years, and no one else picked up on this. So shout out to ITP MMA Live. I'll leave the link to the full video down below because it's a great video. And man, I feel like a fucking idiot for defending Brendan Schaub now, because I understand where Nate Diaz was coming from. Maybe Nate Diaz actually knows that Brendan Schaub was talking shit, but it gets worse. Believe it or not, it gets fucking worse.
Carwin's posts were made in 2016, and there's a very real possibility that Brendan and Shane reconnected in recent years and became buddies again, but I don't think that this is the case, seeing as Brendan doesn't even know basic facts about Carwin's personal life that an actual friend would definitely know. First of all, Brendan doesn't even know that Carwin is divorced, which, as we know by now, happened years ago. In Brendan's podcast, he says that Shane has a wife, present tense, but as we just learned, he does not have a wife in present tense, does he?
Here's a wife. I don't know if she passed away. She has cancer.
What? Let me play that again.
Here's a wife. I don't know if she passed away. She has cancer. Stage whatever, 4 or 5 cancer. I don't know the fucking degrees.
What the fuck? I have never heard anything like that in my life. He has a wife, had a wife. I'm not sure if she's passed away. She has cancer, stage 3 or 4. I don't know the degrees. What the fuck are you talking about, man? How the fuck can you say you are brothers with someone and not know that A, he was divorced 8 years ago, and B, whether or not his fucking wife is alive. Dude, I'm going to find out right now, actually, what the deal is. Okay, so according to Wikipedia, yes, Shane Carwin is divorced. It doesn't say anything about his wife passing away. I'm hoping everything is all good there. Kind of crazy that Brendan Schaub doesn't know either of those facts. That is fucking insane to me. It seems like Schaub was just trying to get attention, and it worked. Like, that video that he made is one of the most viewed videos on his channel recently, which has been struggling for a long time. And man, just as I thought Brendan Schaub was redeeming himself, clearly he's up to his old tricks of just talking absolute garbage. He is not friends with Shane Carwin. If he doesn't even know that his wife is dead or alive, suffering from cancer, divorced or not, you're not friends. Shane Carwin has also said multiple times that they're not friends. So maybe Schaub is just a big old fucking pussy. Like, maybe Nate Diaz is right, because that's one of the most egregious storytelling loads of bullshit I have ever seen. And I'm actually pissed off that I jumped on here and defended Schaub, because I thought he was legitimately in tears for a good friend of his, a brother who is suffering. Now, Shane Carwin is in a lawsuit with the UFC right now, and so maybe Brendan Schaub is trying to help him out in some way. But Dana White said that he has already been helping Shane Carwin out. Here's the thing though, guys, like, I get that it's tough. UFC fighters should have a pension. They should have healthcare. They should get taken care of after fighting. I, for one, think it's bullshit that they don't. But having said that, no one is forcing anybody to jump in the cage and fight. Joe Rogan said it on his podcast multiple times when he was 19 years old and he got a few concussions from taekwondo and kickboxing. I don't know if he's exaggerating that or not. He said he realized at a very young age, this is not good. Like, I should not be getting kicked in the head and not making any money off it. If you're willing to jump in the octagon or the ring or the football field, you know what the consequences are. In MMA, the payoff is not as great as in other sports, and they don't take care of you as well as in other sports. But for you to turn around after the fact and try to sue them when you're the one who signed the contract and agreed to jump in the cage and fight, I just don't know if you really have a leg to stand on. And as far as Brendan Schaub goes, man, he's just the worst. He's making shit up again, and the more people that see this video from ITP MMA Live, whatever it's called, I'll share it below. Like, this is going to come out, and this is going to make Brendan look absolutely terrible, because there's news outlets running with this story as if it's true. And I don't know where Brendan Schaub is making this shit up from, because he clearly doesn't talk to Shane Carwin. He must have read an article somewhere or something, but he's not friends with Shane Carwin. And I don't know why he's pretending like he is. It's embarrassing.